Spiritual Gumbo, the feast of roasted meat, unleavened bread, and bitter herbs. This is going to be actually what I've been waiting for a very long time. Some of the parts. There's a lot of other parts that I can't wait to get to. But right now, this is going to be one of the more fulfilling pieces. So let's just get right into it. And we're going to start off with verse 1 of chapter 11. And if you don't remember where we left off last time, Moses is talking to Pharaoh and he's like, look, man, you know, all these things have happened. And he's like, look, man, we gotta have, when we make sacrifice, it has to be proper, and we need to be able to do it a certain way. Now, to give context to why Pharaoh never let the people leave is that Moses was always trying to leave with everything. So Pharaoh's heart is hardened. This is a real life human thing that plays out to be his ultimate destruction and his undoing, if you can appreciate the level of what took place. First, if Pharaoh lets the people go, they don't spoil the Egyptians. The Most High God is a lie. The Most High forbid. All those things had to happen just like that for Pharaoh to finally be tired of the people, to say, you know what? It's just not worth the trouble. All right. So they let the people go. And this is what happens. Verse 1. Or he's ready to let the people go, I should say. And the Lord said to Moses, I will yet bring one plague upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. And after that he will send you forth thence. And whenever he sends you forth with everything, he will indeed drive you out. He will indeed drive you out. It sounds like the Hyksos that got driven out of Egypt. I don't know. Speak therefore secretly in the ears of the people, and let everyone ask of his neighbor jewels of silver and gold and raiment. Verse 3. And the Lord gave his people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, and they lent to them. And the man Moses was very great before the Egyptians, and before Pharaoh, and before his servants. And Moses said these things. And Moses said, These things saith the Lord. About midnight I go forth into the midst of Egypt, and every firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sits on the throne, even to the firstborn of the woman servant that is by the mill, and the firstborn of all cattle. And there shall be a great cry through all the land of Egypt, such as has not been, and shall not be repeated any more. Verse 7. But among all the children of Israel shall not a dog snarl with his tongue, either at man or beast, that thou mayest know how wide a distinction the Lord will make between the Egyptians and Israel. Stop right there. So if you're hearing this correctly, the Lord says he's going to go down. He's going to do this, right? Keep in mind that the context of Lord can also be sometimes angels, and we discovered this before. Now, having said that, we know that these angels are here on whose behalf? Okay, so the level of power that they work with illustrates how powerful they are and what they're able to do. Having said that, the ability to discriminate so fiercely that not even an animal will snarl at the beast that you own or that are within your property, right? Your borders of the small land of Gesem, nor the people. And so much so to the fact, so that way the distinction, a wide distinction can be made. Now, why this is so important is because people like to believe that the Egyptians are the chosen people, but they're not. And this is the Most High's way of showing that these are my people. And also because if you wanted to say that they look alike, of course, this is another way to show that they're not the same going forward. Verse 8, and all these thy servants shall come down to me and do reverence, saying, go forth, thou and all the people over whom thou presidest, and afterwards I will go forth. And Moses went forth from Pharaoh with wrath. And the Lord spoke to Moses, Pharaoh will not hearken to you, that I may greatly multiply my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron wrought all these signs and wonders in the land of Egypt before Pharaoh. Stop right there. This is one of those a space-time continuum moments where the Messiah is speaking in space and time, or whoever, the Most High speaking through the Messiah, speaking through an angel. See, this is all deep. This is why, if you could appreciate spectra and the levels that a frequency can operate within, then maybe you can get with your boy on what I'm trying to say to you. One day it's going to really click, and when it does, the people might actually do the unthinkable. Going forward. Notice the word wrath. I talked to my man Stephen last night, and I just can't help but to feel that they don't have wrath, that Pharaoh didn't listen. Moses didn't want to go to Pharaoh in the first place. The wrath is coming from Pharaoh. Just saying that. Going forward. Verse 10, and Moses and Aaron wrought all these signs and wonders in the land of Egypt before Pharaoh. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not hearken to send forth the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Verse 1 of chapter 12. Now this is where the Passover is going to actually take place, or a larger part of it. I need you to listen to this. Okay, because this is going to get very interesting. Do you remember when Moses goes to Egypt, in particular wherever Pharaoh's at, and he's walking through the hailstorm? Do note that there's a reason he was sent and not Aaron. Note that there's a reason why he was the one to also do the boils on the people's skin. And once again, it's to distinguish his power level from Aaron's. Right on? Because these just look like two regular dudes doing it, but after a while, a smart person understands that there is something divine working with them. The heavens obviously have aligned with these men. Verse 1 of chapter 12. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be to you the beginning of months. It is the first to you among the months of the year. So this is the first month, and this is going to be your first month from now on. This is an indication that people back then all didn't believe that April, or the month of new corn, was the first month. So the white man wasn't the first people, the first fake nation, or whatever you want to say, because there's a whole bunch of imposter black nations to come up and change the dates and the times of things going forward. This month, verse 2, this month shall be to you the beginning of months. It is the first to you among the months of the year. Speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, on the 10th of this month, let them take each a lamb according to the houses of their families. Every man a lamb for his household. And if they be few in a household, so that there are not enough for the lamb, he shall take with himself his neighbor that lives near to him, as to the number of souls. So what they're pretty much saying is that each person is going to get a lamb for their house. They're going to cook it. They're going to feed their family, right? And if you don't have enough people to eat the lamb, you're going to go get somebody who you know is single, or you know, a young couple, and you're going to bring them in, right on, a young family who can't afford a lamb for whatever reason. Understand, this is real life. And you're going to bring them in and you're going to feed them. Okay. an elderly person, whomever you can think of to relate this to. And it says here, verse 4 in the middle of it. Everyone according to that which suffices him shall make a reckoning for the lamb. It shall be a lamb unblemished, a male of a year old. Ye shall take it of the lambs and the kids. So when it says lambs the first time, it's saying the sheep, the goats. Like it's in particular though, it doesn't say cows, because you're not going to kill a cow with the Egyptians. They're not going to let that happen. Right on. But you can probably get away with killing these lambs and these goats here. And understand, this is an ultimate gangbang move on the Egyptians. Because remember how Moses was like, yo, man, they'll stone us. So, like, look how they pretty much, they're nutting up. Like, stop me. You know what I'm saying? We're going to eat meat and we're about to ride out. And the reason why they're riding out is because they're eating the meat. Oh, my goodness. It's so crazy when you actually humanize the situation. Oh, my goodness. It is amazing. Let's go ahead. It's not crazy. It's just real life. And it's very believable. Now here we go. Verse 6. And it shall be kept to you to the 14th of this month. So if April 14th, let's say, is the real first day of the month, right? In 9 days, this would have been, let's say, what took place. Okay. And then 4 days later is what takes place afterwards. But let's just keep reading. And it shall be kept by you till the 14th of this month. And all the multitude of the congregation of the children of Israel shall kill it toward evening. So that way the Egyptians don't know what they're up to. And they shall take of the blood and shall put it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel, in the houses in which soever they shall eat them. And they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire. And they shall eat unleavened bread with bitter herbs. Ye shall not eat it raw, nor sodden in water, but only roast with fire.